Hello, and this is Matthew Erskine speaking to you for CWT Online Radio on the Speaker Internet Radio Network. This is Tyndale. And in the sporting headlines this week, Tyndale rugby coach ends his playing career. The Colts at Tyndale have booked a place in the final, which is played today, of their National Colts Cup competition. And they travelled down to Worcester today to take on Maidenhead. Along with the sports roundup later on in the programme, we'll take a look at last week's cricket results. Then we'll go into the tables as teams go into today's matches across Northumberland, Tyneside and County Durham. And we'll have a look down to Tyndale as well, Priors Flat, where we'll bring you some news from the week cricket-wise from down at the ground there. And apart from all that, we'll bring you the weather as well on this sunny and clear morning here in the west end of Hexham, and I hope it's the same wherever you are up and down the valleys of the West Tyne and Tyndale today. Hello and welcome to this morning's broadcast, kindly sponsored as usual by the experts in business consultancy and the Royal Oak Country Pub at Cornsay Colliery. So we might as well start with the weather, and it's the most prolific first line I've read. This weekend will be dry with sunny interludes, temperatures 16 to 19 degrees, 61 to 66 Fahrenheit, with northerly winds easing later on in the weekend. A few showers to start next week off. They're mainly dry with sunny spells with temperatures a bit higher, up towards 19 and 20. And there'll be westerly winds to accompany the sunny spells as well. So the week looks good ahead here in Tyndale and the West Tyne. And the weather looks to be set fair as well for the cricket and any other fixtures, sporting fixtures taking place this weekend. So looking out the windows this morning, the weather is living up to its name, a bright clear morning. Not much breeze at the moment here in the west end of Hexham, but later on as the second team down at Tyndale take on Greenside at home down at Priors Flat with a start of 1 o'clock, let's hope the temperatures keep rising and it's a nice afternoon. But do get yourself along to Priors Flat this afternoon. 1 o'clock start for the cricket, the second team. The bar will be open and you can go in and get some refreshments and hopefully see some good cricket as well this afternoon. So we'll go on and we'll go down to Priors Flat and continue some news from down there from in the week. On Monday last, the under-15s won by 9 wickets in the Cup versus Newcastle. Richardson 2 for 14 and Fletcher with an unbeaten 39, the pick of the players there. For Tyndale, on Tuesday gone, it was a 53 runs win for the under-18s versus Wrighton in the league. Sam Peter with 50 and 2 wickets, the pick of the bunch. And then on Wednesday night, it was the County Cup, senior cricket now, County Cup, the first team. Tyndale won by 9 wickets versus Allendale. And again, it was Sam Peter with 3 for 20 who did damage as Allendale slumped to 14 for 4 in the first innings of the match, a position they never quite recovered from. And then it was 50 from Jamie Crichton who put the cherry on the cake for the home team. Last night was the junior training, and as I passed the ground a couple of times, there was plenty of people in, and I haven't had an account, but it looked busy enough when I went past, so I hope everything went alright last night. And in about 25 minutes time, there will be the second instalment of the All-Stars cricket training down at Priors Flat this morning. The youngsters, 5 to 8 year olds, or years 1 and 2 at school, will take up their second instalment of their practices and fun and laughter. And I was down last week and it did indeed look fun as well, with all the kids there getting the new kit and what have you, and some great activators and coaches pulling it all together as well. So well done, and the good work will be kept up, I'm sure, down at Prior's Flat this morning. 9:30 that starts down at the club here in Hexham. So that's brought you up to date with news. Today is the first 11 travel over to Shotley Bridge for the second of 3 away fixtures in the fortnight against their close rivals. So the first team with a 1:30 start in their match in Division 1 of the Northumberland and Tyneside Cricket League. 1:30 start. We'll be on the air here on Cricket West Tyne from 2:30 with live descriptions and updates of play throughout the afternoon, hourly after our start at 2:30. So do join us, and you're more than welcome to listen in to the descriptions of play as they go throughout the afternoon down at Shotley Bridge, the Spa grounds, as the first 11 look to bounce back from a couple of defeats. The win in the cup midweek can't have done anybody any harm down at Tynedale, so good luck to both sides this afternoon. We'll be on the air from 2:30, so do join us then. And while we're on the subject of broadcasting, I might as well give you just some updates of where you can find us and listen to us here on Cricket West Tyne. Our host network is Spreaker Internet Radio, the online radio network, and you can go to their website, Spreaker.com, and then search for Cricket West Tyne Online Radio, or you can just type into any internet search engine or the box at the top, Cricket West Tyne Online Radio Spreaker, or you can www.spreaker.com/Cricket West Tyne. You can listen to us also via YouTube now. I think you always could. I think we had a bit of a problem with that over the last year or so, but I knew we could at one stage, but you can again now. You can go through my Twitter account. I'll put a link on there at MJE1986, and you'll get a live link there for the YouTube commentary. Or you can go onto YouTube, the site itself, and type into the search box on there Cricket West Tyne, and up should pop our channel on there, and you can listen throughout the afternoon. Listen again as well, but not via YouTube. You can go on to the Spreaker website, and there's an on-demand service there, the Listen Again service, and all our commentaries from the afternoon's play will be stored there. So if you're busy this afternoon and you just don't get a chance to listen live, you can always pop back when you get 5 minutes and have a listen for the updated score. Remember, we'll be on from 2:30 this afternoon, and then on the hour after that for extended live descriptions of play and bring you up to date with the scores from the match. So that's today's fixtures for the first team. The second team at Tynedale, as I've already mentioned, down at Prior's Flat with a 1 o'clock start, and they're playing Greenside second 11 in the Division 5 South of the Northumberland and Tyneside Cricket League today. So good luck to both teams there as well. There's plenty cup cricket coming up. We'll run through this and then we'll go on to today's league fixtures. The Tyneside Charity Bowl, this is in a fortnight's time. The round 2 of the Tyneside Charity Bowl is just about being made up now. Percymain and Morpeth, Alnmouth and the Blue Flames, Tynemouth and South Northumberland, Swalwell and Wickham, Bladen versus Ponteland, and Wrighton and Benwell Hill will make up the confirmed ties of the second round of the Tyneside Charity Bowl, to be played on or after the 30th of May. Shotley Bridge still await a winner from Ledgate and Concert for the second round, and Anfield Plain or Linz, or Burnopfield or Ledgate will make up the other match there. The winners from them two matches will make up the last game in the second round of the Tyneside Charity Bowl. But that's in the week after next. Next week, it's all attention with cup cricket anyway, turns to the Wilson Cup. And on the 23rd of May, on Wednesday, there's 16 matches in round 1 of the Wilson Cup. Or there's supposed to be 16 matches to be played on Wednesday night. I don't know if we'll get through them all. But here they are: Lanchester versus Swalwell, Blaydon versus Ashington, Ledgate versus Seaton Burn, Corbridge versus Wrighton, Cromlington versus Alnwick, Shotley Bridge. This is the third away fixture against Shotley Bridge for Tynedale on Wednesday night. No doubt it'll be a 6 o'clock start, but Shotley Bridge versus Tynedale, Bommersund versus Bates Colleges, Percy Main versus Backworth, Blythe versus Tilside, Anfield Plain versus the Blue Flames, Newcastle City versus Alnmouth, Ponteland versus the Civil Service, Cowgate versus Wickham, Bedlington versus Ashington Rugby, Consett versus Linz, and Stobbswood face off at home against the Gems. And that's all in the round 1 of the Wilson Cup, to be played this Wednesday or any time after that. So there's the fixtures. Continuing with Cup cricket, the second 11s start their Cup campaigns this week. And Tynedale seconds, they're in the Barlow Cup on Thursday this week, the 24th of May. And Tynedale are at home, the second team, versus Ledgate. And these are knockout. The Charity Bowl is the knockout competition. Yes, the Charity Bowl is the knockout competition, and the Wilson Cup as well. They're all knockout competitions. And Tynemouth versus Ledgate is the first match there. Tynedale at home, the second team. These are all second teams. And Morpeth v Percy Main, Blue Flames versus Tilside, Alnwick versus Bates Colleges, Seaton Burn versus Whitley Bay, Lanchester versus Cowgate, Stocksfield versus Anfield Plain, and Linz versus Wrighton. And that's the Barlow Cup on this Thursday, the 24th of May. That's when those matches have to be played. And looking down, that finishes about it for Cup cricket. So if you're wanting a game of cricket midweek, there's plenty to choose from there. Do keep an eye on all the clubs' Twitter feeds and social media, because most of them now are very good at keeping everybody up to date with what's going on. Very good, in fact. But if you want to look at Tynedale's, it's at Tynedale CC on Twitter, or the Tynedale Cricket Club Facebook page as well. And the captain, Tom Cant, down at the club, he keeps everybody well up to date with what's going on via social media as well. In Northumberland tomorrow, one last snip from the cricket. Tom Cant, captain of Northumberland, he takes his players down to Lincolnshire tomorrow for a tie in the T20 Knockout Cup away. So a long travel down the road for the Northumberland boys, coming off the back of that match a fortnight ago. Is it a fortnight ago now? When they played Lincolnshire, 2 matches in the other T20 competition, the group competition up there at Jesmond. So tomorrow they travel down to Lincolnshire for that match. So, results from last week in the cricket, and then we look at the tables. The teams going into today's matches. I've just pulled the scores over here. In Division 1 of the Northumberland and Tyneside Cricket League, Ashington had a big win against Stocksfield. Percy Main won against Linz. Lanchester won against Tynedale. Consett triumphed over Wrighton. Shotley Bridge versus Newcastle City. It was Shotley Bridge who won that one. And Alnmouth and Lesby versus Swalwell. Swalwell came away winners by just over 100 runs in that one. In Division 2 of the Northumberland and Tyneside Cricket League, it was Alnwick versus Seaton Burn, which Seaton Burn won. Then it was Morpeth triumphed over Blythe. Bedlington away came away winners against Tilside. Ledgate overcame Bates Colleges at home. Anfield Plain won by 4 wickets versus Ponteland. And last but not least, in Division 2, it was Cowgate who won against Greenside. In the Northumberland and Tyneside Cricket League Division 3, Benwell and Walbottle, they came away winners against Bommersund. And Wickham versus Berwick, Wickham won that one. Whitley Bay versus Corbridge, Corbridge picked up their first win there by just 5 runs. So well done to Corbridge. Blue Flames versus Warkworth. It was Warkworth who won by 4 wickets. And Backworth won by 2 wickets against the Gems. And it was Blagden who came away winners against Ashington Rugby. And that was by 3 wickets. In the O'Neill Richmond's West Tyne League, Division 1, Hayden Bridge triumphed by 67 runs over Benwell Hill. Humshoff kept up their good record, their very good record indeed, with a 34 runs win over South North. Stocksfield versus Hexham Leazers, it was Hexham Leazers won there. Matfin versus Allendale, Allendale kept up their record as well, won by 142 runs, and it was Belsay who outdid Wylam in the last match there. And we'll go to the tables now, but just one more result, if I can find it. The second team at Tynedale in Division 5 South, they came away big winners against Lanchester. I think it was by 83 runs, if I'm correct. The score, I haven't got the score written down here, but 200s there from Paul Scandal and Ollie Fletcher did the business for Tynedale seconds in Division 5 South. So the tables, as the teams go into today's games, Shotley Bridge top, 120 points, a clean record there. This is Division 1. Swalwell second, then Concert, Ashington, Percy Main, Lanchester and Tynedale. And then the bottom half, Linz, Newcastle City, Brighton, Almouth and Stocksfield. In Division 2, Bedlington and Ledgate lead the way from Anfield Plain, Morpeth, Alnwick, Bates Cottages, Ponteland, Seatonburn, Cowgate and Tillside, while Greenside and Blythe bring up the tail. In Division 3, it's Backworth and Ashington out at the front. Warkworth, Blagden, Berwick, Blue Flames and the Gems are tucked in behind there, and Wickham, Bommersund, Corbridge, Benwell and Whitley Bay bring up the end of the table. In the West Tyne League, Allendale and Humshoff clean away at the top there by 11 points. From Hayden Bridge in third, Matfin, Hexham Leazers, South Northumberland, Belsay, Benwell Hill and Stocksfield, whilst Newton, Wylam and Haltwhistle bring up the tail in the West Tyne League. So that's the tables as the teams go into today's matches. Now let's have a look at the fixtures for today. We've got Lanchester versus Almouth in Division 1, Linz versus Ashington, Newcastle City are at home to Stocksfield, Brighton are at home to Percy Main, Tynedale make the trip to Shotley Bridge, of course, and Swalwell entertain Concert down at Derwenthoff Park. So there's a good game this afternoon. And where we now will just move over to Division 2, Bates Cottages versus Anfield Plain, Bedlington versus Alnwick, Cowgate versus Ponteland, Greenside versus Tillside, Morpeth versus Ledgate, Seatonburn versus Blythe. And that finishes off Division 2 there. Now Division 3 for today, Ashington Rugby versus the Gems, Backworth host the Blue Flames, Berwick host Benwell, Bommersund host Blagden, Corbridge are down at the Stanners versus Warkworth, and Whitley Bay play Wickham over on the coast. In Division 4, we'll have, this is second teams as well as first teams, Almouth and Lesbury versus the Civil Service, Ashington versus Backworth, Clowervale versus Swalwell, Ponteland versus Newcastle City, Stobbswood versus Cromlington, and Wickham versus Shotley Bridge. In Division 5 South, for Tynedale's league today, there's Anfield Plain versus Linz, Benwell and Walbottle versus Lanchester, Concert have got a week off because the fixture still got Hebburn in there. Hebburn aren't in the league anymore, so Concert seconds have got the week off this week. Ledgate versus Brighton, Stocksfield seconds versus Cowgate, and Tynedale seconds versus Greenside there. So that brings us up to date with the fixtures in the Northumberland and Tyneside Cricket League. How about the West Tyne League now? 19th of May today, and it comes through that in Division 1, Allendale are hosting Hayden Bridge up at the ground there at Allendale, Benwell Hill versus Newton, Haltwhistle versus Humshoff, South North versus Belsay, Hexham Leazers versus Matfin Hall, and Stocksfield versus Wylam in Division 1. In Division 2, it's Wylam host Haltwhistle, Medhamsley Sword host Allendale, Stamfordham play Clara Vale, Mitford A take on Stocksfield at home, Humsharf at home versus Mitford B, and Walker down at the Sports Club versus the Corbridge Millers. So there we go, and Northumberland's match, of course, tomorrow against Lincolnshire. So there we go, that's the fixtures for today, so good luck to everybody who's taking part. I think most games should go ahead today, and we shouldn't see any cancellations through the weather anyway. So in the week coming up, we've got, if we go down 22nd of May, Tyndale travel up to Linz. This is the under 18s, and I'll just have a look for the under 15s there. I don't think I've, are they on the page before in the little book here? Under 15s, have Tyndale got a game this week? I can't see it, but if you do check back to the Tyndale Cricket Club website or their Facebook page or their Twitter feed, you will find out there. But the under 18s up at Linz on Tuesday night. Then Cup away, the firsts away on Wednesday night, and the seconds are at home in the Barlow Cup on Thursday night down at Priors Flat. So we're just coming up to 20 past 9 here on the programme, just after 20 past 9, nearer 25 past. We've been whittering on there about the cricket fixtures for a little bit longer than usual. It's all the cup cricket that's taking place. But now I think we'll just move on to our sports roundup, district sports roundup, and I've, in association with the Hexham Courant here, and I've got the paper with us. So if you haven't seen it yet and you want to read, we'll not go through it in too much detail, but a bit of a blow this week for Tyndale Rugby Club, as their coach, Scott Lawson, ends his professional playing career, and he's pictured there, and it's the head coach, Scott Lawson, who is returning to his native Scotland to take up a new post at St Andrews University. And he's described as a charismatic director of rugby who has quit the club to take up a new post north of the border. And the hooker, who was part of the Scotland squad which beat England to win the Calcutta Cup in March, has announced his retirement from the professional game after a career which began at his native Biggar and saw him play for Melrose, Glasgow Warriors, Sale Sharks, Gloucester and London Irish before joining Newcastle Falcons in the summer of 2013. And the 36-year-old, who took over at Tyndale 2 years ago when the club was at a low ebb, fighting to stave off a second successive relegation as their own ground at Tyndale Park was underwater. He took over then, but since those dark days, Lawson has been instrumental in turning Tyndale around, winning their first 9 games of the season on the spin and finishing a credible third in National League Division 2 North. And if you want to read on, that's leading on the back page this morning of our local paper here. And if you want to read on that story, the chairman of rugby down at Tyndale, Mike Fieldhouse, gives a good interview as well. And there's a few more details. Still with Tyndale Rugby Club, it's cup final day for Tyndale Colts on today, and that means a trip to Worcester for players and supporters. A 38-17 win over Sheffield booked them their place last weekend, and the impressive victory has set up an intriguing final against Maidenhead Colts at Worcester's Six Ways Stadium. So good luck. I know there's a bus being booked out for that one. The kick-off is 2 p.m. and the team is supposed to be arriving at about 12 noon ahead of the match, and 10:30 tonight the bus leaves, so the bus is already on its way down there for that match. Good luck to the Colts, and in the run to this final, the National Colts Cup final, there's been wins over Morpeth, Carlisle, Percy Park Academy, Doncaster and the Old Northamptonians, so good luck again there. Turning inside, you can get a good look at all the cricket from last weekend. If you haven't read the paper yet, of course, the paper comes out now on a Thursday, so we're a couple of days behind when the paper came out, but it's nice to look through the sport once in a while. There's good reports there from Tyndale's match and in the West Tyne League as well, plus a full scorecards for both leagues there with clubs from the district involved. So if we turn inside one more page now, page 77, page 76 and 77. Team GB honour awaits students. Ponteland High School's Joseph Anderson and Abby Bolam are both selected for the Great Britain team. Year 9 student Joseph Anderson recently competed in the pentathlon at Cheltenham in an attempt to gain selection for the forthcoming international championships in Madeira, Portugal. And as a result of his showing, Joseph has been selected to represent Great Britain in the competition. Abby, on the other hand, also a Year 9 student, has been selected to represent Great Britain in the junior women's team for Team Gym at the European Championships in Portugal in October. So well done to both sets of athletes there. We've got point to point. There was a race. There's been plenty of race meetings over the last couple of days up at High Yarridge. But point to point, the border meeting brings the season to a close. The Northern Area point to point season draws to a close on Sunday. That's tomorrow, with the border fixture at Hexham Racecourse, which has received a total of 100 entries for a 6-race card, starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The track is being watered all week, with the aim of providing good ground, and the opening NPPA conditions race has 16 entries, and Amy Waff looks to be favoured there, only has a £3 penalty for that success before, and should go close again in that race. And there's a full preview of the border counties, the border area point to point tomorrow, if you care to look on page 77. But Amy Waff there, experienced competitor now for a number of years, and she's taken on the race again, the race she won last year. And the main danger, the main competition will come from the Jimmy Walton trained Ripstick, who stayed on well in the closing stages last time when runner-up at Moss Houses. So there we go. Have a look through the runners and riders there. We'll move to rowing now on page 76, and there's a big photo here. Queen Elizabeth High School rowers at the regatta in Durham, and regatta success for high school rowers past, present and in the future as well. And they've all got smiles on their faces there. So the British University's regatta held at Nottingham saw ex-Queen Elizabeth High School rowers competing and bringing home a clutch of medals. Amy Bowman was there in the Women's Championships, in the quadruple sculls, and in the Women's Championship coxless 4 as well. And she won a bronze, a silver and a gold, so well done to her. Lucy Ryan, rowing for the Reading University, gained a silver in Women's Championship double sculls and a bronze in the Women's Championship coxless quadruple sculls. And the success of these two young rowers follows the success in reaching the top 7 of the Great Britain under-23 trials in single sculls in February. And just a couple of more lines from the rowing there. That win against the University, St Chad's Trevelyan and Collingwood colleges, the Queen Elizabeth won in that one, and was for students that give them further encouragement as they went through the rounds of their principal event, the coxless quadruple sculls. And Tom Archer and Tom Smith had been working hard to improve on what is considered to be the really difficult technical event of the coxless pairs, and they reaped the fruit of their recent efforts by winning the coxless pairs event, winning the final against Tyne Rowing Club by a margin. Hexham Rowing Club, on the other hand, there's a big picture at the bottom there. The Hexham Tyne United 8 on its way to a convincing victory at Durham, and this is the many hands made light work for the Hexham Rowing Club's juniors at the weekend when they beat all comers at the Durham City Regatta in one of the sport's less common events. Hexham WJ14 girls Hayley Halland, Ciara Duncan, Ellie Watt, Lucy Thorpe, Tony Louise Brown, Eliza Nicholson and Cox Owen Slipman were joined by Tyne United rowers Louise Southwood and Eloise Woods to crew an octuple, which involves 8 rowers using 2 sculling blades each rather than the single sweep oar. And there's a good picture of the competitors there as well, so well done to them. Hexham won. So we'll turn inside now, and as the football season comes to an end, there's on page 75, Sunderland head to put it on a FA Cup winning hero, and there's a good picture there of the Sunderland players in blue who meet the Putta team and the mascots ahead of kick-off, and that's the charity football match in honour of the North East football legend Bob Stoker, which has raised vital funds for Putta-based Children's Centre Ferndean. At the bottom of the page, Town's triple triumph. Putta Town players and officials are photographed here celebrating a remarkable treble-winning season. Town lifted the Hexham District Sunday League's Tommy Jackson President's Cup last weekend by defeating Borden Mill Bowes-Lions 1-0, and that followed the club's recent success in the John Pickworth League Cup and their Division 1 League Championship triumph. And there they are, pictured in the tangerine strips with the black shorts and the black stripe there. So well done to those lads. And last on football here, final celebrations for the Hexham girls, and that's the girls from Hexham's Football Club were mascots for the Newcastle United women's team in the County Cup final. And they're pictured there with the Newcastle United team. So must have been a good occasion for those girls there as they're kneeling in front of the women's Newcastle team. One more football, I've just noticed one more football result here. Hexham Rapid were 5-0 winners against Putta Pumas in the Under-12 North East Youth Development League. The match included a hat-trick from Max Weston, and so a good win there for Hexham Rapid. We're just nearly at the end of the programme this morning, just to 40 minutes with our commentary. Coming up later on in the day from Shotley Bridge, we're back to rugby again, and it's junior rugby this time. And Tyndale Under-15 season ended with a 28-22 win over touring side Duns from across the Scottish border in what was a tough, closely fought game. From the off, Tyndale were able to benefit from some early pressure and get on the scorecard with an opening try from fullback Andrew Thornton. And the team went on there, and it was pretty to and fro and a close game at the end. Summarising the story here, and Tyndale came away as winners by 28 points to 22, and it was a great team effort described by the report here, with both sides made for a very entertaining game on a day which could have gone either way. And that finishes the sport for this morning. We've got no pigeons this week, they must have been having a rest. Hexham races, Tuesday the 22nd of May this week, evening meeting celebrating Northumberland Day. The gates open at 4 o'clock up at High Yarridge. First race 6 o'clock, last race 9 o'clock. A couple of free buses from the town centre. One departs the railway station at just before 10 to 5, and the other goes from the bus station at 5 to 5, and both buses return after the last race. And you can join the High Yarridge stables up there for 7 exciting races at Hexham, and all under 18s, providing they are accompanied by an adult, go free. And the next meeting after that is Saturday the 2nd of June, and the first race is at 1:30 and the last race is at 20 past 5. And for any further details you can telephone 01434 606 881 or email admin@hexhamracecourse.co.uk or visit the website hexhamracecourse.co.uk, and you'll find all information on there as well. So there we go, that finishes our district sports roundup for this week. Just a reminder that Tyndale first are away at Shotley Bridge with a 1:30 start today in the cricket, and the home team down at Priors Flat will be the second 11 seniors team at Tyndale, and they take on Greenside in their match, and that's a 1 o'clock start. So thank you to Experts in Business, got to give them a mention, and the Royal Oak Hotel at Cornsay Colliery, who give us their business and sponsorship here on Cricket West Tyne on Spreaker Internet Radio. Canton Bislin as well, the dairy products, and MKM, who are the club sponsor down at Tyndale. And just before we go, the Tyndale Beer Festival as well, 14th to the 16th of June this year, Thursday to Saturday. Tickets on sale now. Do get in touch with Tyndale Rugby Club or the Tyndale Lions, or go on the Facebook page of the Tyndale Beer Festival. We'll give you some more information about that this afternoon. So do join us then, wherever and whenever you can get an internet connection. on your laptop, PC, smartphone, iPad or tablet, or anywhere else you can find an internet connection, Wi-Fi, anything like that. You can listen in to some cricket broadcasts this afternoon from Shotley Bridge versus Tyndale over at the Spa Grounds from 2:30. We've got a good old competition the other day. We've got the FA Cup final and dare we say at the Royal Wedding. But I think we should hold our own here on Cricket West Tyne and do our best to bring you some good league cricket this afternoon down at the Spa Grounds. So join us then, 2:30. Next week we'll be back as usual at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then for our cricket commentary in the afternoon. But for now, my name's Matthew Erskine. I wish you a very good Saturday and enjoy all your sporting fixtures. 2:30 this afternoon, live from Shotley Bridge. See you for now.